What is it that you are hoping that the fans like about your books?
Well, I hope that they're entertained because it's a rollicking adventure, but also that it makes them think. I mean, the overall goal of what I want to do with using sci-fi is to help them question our culture today and help them try to understand and look at their culture in a different way. And that's the advantage of science fiction because, you know, you're not attacking them and their beliefs now directly, so you can make them just think.
What is it that you think is the biggest thing that we should question or think about?
Inequality in our society in any of its forms. And a lot of times in our society we find ourselves entrenched in our viewpoints and unwilling to look at it from someone else's perspective. And my book is all about perspective. You know, it might be 700 years in the future, but it's still about the things we deal with today.
Whenever you did originally come up with your book idea, was it something from experience or did you just kind of imagine it, or how did it happen?
I was climbing actually a mountain with a couple friends in Washington, and I had this idea because I was reading Antigone, a Greek play about this woman standing up, a young girl standing up to the cold power of authority. And so it's a story that really resonated with me, and I wanted to have that reflected in the story itself. And so in Red Rising, a girl stands up to the power of authority and is struck down because of it. And it's about what happens after that. It's about a man waging a war for love because of that. And so it's not necessarily something I have influenced or experienced directly, but it's something that's inspired me.
Did you know the ending before you wrote it, or was it something that came about as you were writing the story?
So I write from the seat of my pants. My editor asked me to turn in an outline and it never ends up going well. But I always do know what the end goal is. I always know how it is going to end the book series as a whole. And fortunately, it's pretty much stayed true to that. So there was first Red Rising, and Red Rising started small. And then Golden Sun, the second book, it got to expand the scope of things. And the third book really gets to dial everything up to an 11. You get to see characters ending arcs, you get to see characters dying permanently, but also you get to see a conclusion of Darrow's story and his rebellion against the Gold Empire, so to speak.
Will there be more after that, or in the same world, or are you going to go totally different?
So I haven't yet decided, but Morning Star is the conclusion of this storyline. And so maybe we're looking at doing a Red Rising graphic novel, and we're also obviously doing the adaptation with Universal Studios for the film. And so I'll be doing more in that world, but then hopefully maybe I'll be doing something in the fantasy arena.
With the film, do you have a say in it, or is it something that you just have to kind of give over to them?
No, fortunately, I got to package it with the director before we took it to Universal. So Mark Forster, who's a really good friend of mine now, which is awesome because I'm a huge fan of his work, has really helped protect me in the process. But I got to write the first 2 drafts of the script, which is really amazing for me, you know, to get to learn, but also and cut my teeth on my own material. But it also helps me understand the story better, and I really trust the guys that are involved in it. I think everyone has the right vision in mind. I think Mark is going to be brilliant.
Do you know when that's going to come out yet?
No. I wish I did. So we're still in the pre-development process. So once we get the final script hammered out is when things will start launching forward. Yeah.
Now, what would you say to someone who wants to be a better writer or take that next step in their skill? Just what advice do you have?
More than anything, keep writing. You're going to mess up, and when you mess up, you're going to learn. And that's how I did. I mean, I wrote 6 books before I finally got one published. 6 books before I even got a representation from an agent. And hopefully it'll take you less than 6 books because you're hopefully smarter than I am. But that's how I learned. Every time you fall down, you pick yourself up, and then you're able to learn from that situation or learn from what mistake you made. And so the worst thing you can do is criticize yourself. And obviously you're not going to be a great writer when you're maybe 18 or in your 20s, maybe not even in your 30s, but you might be a great writer when you're 40, so keep at it.
What were you planning to do whenever it wasn't going well? Like, did you have another career path you were planning on?
Yeah, so I worked a little bit in politics. I worked a little bit in a startup tech company, and I didn't like either too much. And then I ended up actually being an NBC page. So I was giving tours of the NBC Universal lot, living on an air mattress, $10, and making $10 an hour. And I was living on an air mattress in the Valley in my political science professor's garage. So no, I didn't really have the best plan, but so it came at a good time in my life. But I was trying to break into the entertainment industry any way I knew how.
So then that book came out? Is that what happened?
Yeah, so that book came out. So the book got purchased when I was about 6 months into this job. And so I was trying to break into the industry, then I got this big book contract, and I was just delighted. And I was actually giving a tour at the time to this group of Midwesterners, and I told them I might have to take a call because I was negotiating a contract. And they're so into it. And so I got the call, and then I told them what happened. And then I said, yes, of course I'll take the deal, because it was awesome. And so then they started freaking out with me, and they gave me huge tips, and it was amazing. Yeah.
So you got like a double bonus.
Yeah, it was double bonus, yeah.